In this video, we're going to show you how to import your people and the org chart hierarchy from a CSV file or an Excel file. Remember that Organimi charts are role-based, and when you are building an Organimi chart from scratch, it is a simple three-step process where you add your people to the talent pool, then you create the chart hierarchy of roles or positions, and then drag the people into the role or position that they fill. If you have a CSV or Excel file with all of the data in one place, you can build that whole chart and populate the talent pool using our import tool. It only takes a few seconds, even for very large charts, once the matching is done. Starting with a CSV or Excel file that looks something like this, you have the columns that give you the details of the person, like name, email, phone number, etc. And then you have the column that has the role title or job title for the position that the person occupies. And finally, you have two columns that we use to build the hierarchy. You have some sort of unique identifier, like a position number or an employee ID. And then you would have a second column that would show what position or role is the supervisor or boss or manager for the particular row in the CSV file or Excel file. And this should point back to the unique ID of that row that contains the supervisor or boss or manager. In our example, you can see that we simply use numbers so that Charles here, as our VP of Sales, reports to the person in the row with the unique ID of 1, which is Abby, our CEO. And you also notice that Abby, our CEO, does not have an entry in the boss ID column. And so the CEO role will be at the top of the chart. Now your CSV or Excel file may not contain the details of who reports to whom that allows Organimi to build the hierarchy automatically. But that's okay, and we'll show you how that works in the second half of this video. Now let's import our file. Pay attention to the column names here, as we will need to use them when matching the columns from your CSV or Excel file to the fields that Organimi uses in the application. We'll start here with an empty organization, and we'll drag in our CSV file. Remember the column names we showed before? They're here on the left. Organimi will do an auto match, but we'll skip that for now. And we just want to drag the unique ID and the manager ID in to get started. Here's a help file that shows you how to match up the unique ID and the manager ID to build the hierarchy. Then we drag and drop those fields in. Then we drag and drop the other fields in for the rest of the details, including the first name, last name, role title, and email. We can switch between drag and drop matching or side-by-side matching. We could pick the email here and show how that works if we switch back to drag and drop. You can always delete the matches you've made and drag and drop them back and continue to match them if you made any mistakes. Now we'll continue on. We'll create a chart name. This will be called First Chart. So we type that in and we check our fields, and oh no, we forgot email. So let's go back, quickly drag email into and drop that into the list. Hit continue. Everything looks good. So let's complete the import here. Once the import completes, you'll see how Organimi has automatically built the org chart with the people reporting to the people they report to, and everyone's in the talent pool. Now, if we go back to scenario B, where we don't have the ability to build the hierarchy automatically, let's jump to org 2. We'll drag in a different CSV file, and you'll notice that this one doesn't have the unique ID or the manager ID. So we're just going to match up first name, last name, role title, and email address. So we don't match anything up for the reporting relationship because we don't have that in our file. When we click continue, Organimi gives us a couple of examples or a couple of options on what we could do. If our file does actually have that, we could go back. But in this case, we're going to manually set up the reporting structure. We can jump back between the people's names and the position information as we type in here who reports to who. The social media manager reports to the VP of marketing, VP of sales reports to the CEO. You can see it starting to build the hierarchy on the right side of the chart here. And we'll continue to add these relationships either by name or by title, and we can jump back and forth. And then finally, you'll see on the right, we have the whole chart built out. So once we're done here, and we've got that built, we'll click continue, and we'll give this a name called the second chart. Everything looks good. We've got some manual column matches here. We click complete import, and again, we have the chart automatically built along with the talent pool. And we just wanted to show you another option with this. So you can do it by drag and drop if you don't want to use that manual matching. So we're going to drag that same CSV in here, and we're just going to use the auto matches for brevity's sake. We go forward and we'll click proceed without the reporting relationships. This will say, okay, we're not going to build a chart. We're just going to import the people. So we click import and you'll see this takes us to the people tab where we can see the people that we imported. We're going to create a chart. We're just going to build an empty chart here. We'll call it third chart. And you'll see that it quickly builds just a blank chart. If we go to our talent pool where everyone is, we can start dragging and dropping them in to build the chart. Abby gets dragged and dropped. We'll change her title to CEO, which is what her title is. Then we add Charles as VP of Sales and Danica as VP of Marketing. And now we'll drag Benjamin under Danica and drop him on there and then hit save. And that's created. And we'll create Ellen under Charles because she's a sales manager. So we'll drop that on the plus arrow there to create a new role under Charles. And Franklin, we could drop under Charles or to the left of Ellen. So we're going to drop him to the left of Ellen. And again, here's your chart with your people in talent pool. I can always go back to the organization, the all organization tab to see all my organizations in one dashboard. And that's it for our demo today. Reach out if you have any questions or issues importing your file.